What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. I gotta get that out of the way. I'm thankful for all of you guys as well as all the iPhones and Androids that I've ever owned in my life. So hopefully you guys can find thankfulness in something that you guys do. But right now we're going to go ahead and compare the iPhone 11 Pro to the Samsung Galaxy A20. Now this is really not that good of a comparison, but the A20, is one of Samsung's cheapest flagship phones, in a way. So you can still purchase this thing for like a fourth of even a fifth of the cost of what the iPhone 11 Pro is spending on, or what you can buy it for. And I'm curious to see what the differences are, pretty much what you're getting when you go get an iPhone 11 Pro. Now, in a lot of ways, probably most ways, iPhone 11 Pro is better, but the A20 has some cool things going for it too, which you might not even expect. Now, looking at the front, first of all, the iPhone 11 Pro just came out like 2 months ago. The Samsung Galaxy A20 has been out since about March, so I just picked it up and that's why I'm just now doing this freaking comparison. Now, looking on the front, we have a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display on the Samsung Galaxy A20. That display's resolution is 720p by 1560. The iPhone 11 Pro's panel is 1125 by 2436, but that is a 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and they're both pretty decent. The iPhone 11 Pro's is definitely better though, especially mixed in with that True Tone display. However, with the A20, you do get that bigger display, but on top of that, you do get that Infinity V display or Infinity U display, whichever one it is. It's definitely the Infinity V display, and that kind of gives the impression that it is a little bit cooler than the iPhone 11 Pro's. Interestingly enough, the screen to body ratio is actually higher on the Samsung Galaxy A20, so you're getting more screen versus the iPhone Pro, which is pretty interesting. So overall, there's less bezel on the A20, which is really funny compared to a phone that costs thousands of dollars. So take that as you will, but obviously, I do like the 11 Pro's panel a little bit better. You have a triple camera setup on the back and a fingerprint sensor on the A20, but only a Face ID unlocking feature on the 11 Pro. You have USB Type-C as well as a headphone jack on the A20, but only a lightning port. And on top of that, you do have a micro SD card slot on the Samsung Galaxy A20, which is a really cool thing. Apple iPhones never had that, but Samsung is still including that with their phones, which I really love. So even on the outside and these impression things, like just even straight from the outside, the A20 has a lot of compelling things, but I will tell you, the overall build quality, the way both of these phones feel, the iPhone 11 Pro does feel overall better in the hand than the Samsung Galaxy A20, which is expected, you know what I mean? You're spending like $200 on a phone versus, $1,000 plus on a phone, so you're going to find some pretty big differences right there. Now, talking about software, the Samsung Galaxy A20 started off with Android Pie. We just got the update yesterday that it is getting Android One UI 2, so on Android 10. Now, it's not getting One UI 2 right now. It's probably going to get the beta sometime soon, but that's pretty good news. Now, I don't know if it's going to go any further than that. Maybe it'll get One UI 3, but I really doubt it. The iPhone 11 Pro though, it's just getting started with updates. Like even the next year or two, that's pretty much just going to be like this beginning phase of it. This thing is probably going to last for at least 4 to 5 years at the bare minimum. So the iPhone 11 Pro will not only outlast the successor to the A20, but it'll probably outlast that successor as well. So in terms of software support, that's a humongous thing for the 11 Pro, but I'm sure there's going to be custom ROMs and root app for the A20 as well, because a lot of people are going to buy this phone and already own this phone. So it's a pretty big important thing to know right there. So in terms of software, that pretty much covers it. Now in terms of performance, I'll go ahead and tell you the specs, and I went ahead and did a speed comparison. The iPhone 11 Pro has, like I said, an Apple A13 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU with 4 GB of RAM. The Samsung Galaxy A20 has an Exynos 7884 chipset, an octa-core CPU, and 3 GB of RAM. So let's go ahead and see which one is the faster device between these. Alright everyone, welcome to the comparison. I got some of those same apps kind of on both phones, so I'm going to start loading them up. Let's go and do Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And I'm pretty sure the 11 Pro is going to win every time. If you couldn't tell, the 11 Pro is on the left, A20 is on the right? This is the A20. Yes, as you can see, this is the A20. And as you can see, the 11 Pro is a little bit faster than the A20. Dude, I'm all over the place today. Let's do BOFA. 3, 2, 1. And I think the A20 ended up getting into it faster. And this is interesting because I think the Android app is more optimized than the iPhone app. So one thing to kind of keep in mind while you're doing this. Let's do Paper Out 2. 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the 11 Pro was just like slightly faster than the A20, which is really interesting. Now, if we kind of go through this whole entire play the game, you can see the gameplay was actually almost the same thing. There's really not that big of a difference. Here we go and redo it. As you can see, this game is not even optimized as well on any phone. It's like a really glitchy game, but it seems to be playing the same, which is pretty interesting. So let's do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And this is one thing I want you guys to see, okay? If you look at the screen to body ratio when you're playing a game, look how much is cut off on the bigger Android phones, like with the A50, A20, S10 even. You're getting all these things cut off on the side, whereas on the iPhone app on iOS, you're getting the whole entire viewing angle of every single thing. So look at that. I mean, even though this one has a bigger screen, you're technically being able to play more on the iPhone 11 Pro, which is really weird. Snake versus blocks, 3, 2, 1. And I want to show you guys something. When I'm closing out of an app or a game or whatever, look how long it takes on the Android device. So if I go ahead and click here, let's go ahead and get to some gameplay. And as you can see, they look almost exactly the same. It's a very basic game, and sometimes I've seen a glitch on older devices, but it seems to be working good. Now, look at how long it takes for me to close the game or something on an iPhone or on an Android. Look, okay? So that wasn't a good example because I kind of messed up. But I'll go ahead and redo it at some point. Let's do tempo run, 3, 2, 1. Now I will have to restart this, so I'm going to go and click here. Tempo run again, 3, 2, 1. As you can see, the 11 Pro just slightly ahead. And what I want to say again, dude, this one costs over 1,000. This one cost me like 200, which is pretty insane. Look at that performance difference. Not that much of a difference. Yes, the screen is better, the build is better, more cameras, all that stuff. But it's kind of weird how, there's not that big of a difference in my opinion as I was expecting. Let's do tempo run 2, 3, 2, 1. And again, all these random pop-ups for no reason at all. As you can see, Temple Run 2 on the iPhone is running pretty well. It's already pretty way ahead of the A20, and eventually we get into it on the A20. Did stutter a little bit in the beginning with, and it's still loading. As you can see, we're into it. Okay, let's click no thanks. Let's go ahead and play. And as you can see, I mean, it's going to be pretty much the same. Not that much of a difference, like I stated. But in the beginning with loading, that was really weird. I was expecting not as much glitchiness on the A20. Let's go and end it off with Road Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. Now, I hope I don't have to download anything on here, and even just to getting into the game was, it took a minute on the A20. Now, if I have to download something, I'm going to scream because I've done it 30 times already, and it's probably still not even going to register. The iPhone 11 Pro did technically load into it faster than the A20. So on these bigger games and bigger apps, okay, as you can see, we don't have to download anything. Thank God I don't have to scream. But as you can see, it did take a little bit of time on the A20. Not a big deal. I mean, I'm not going to go and cry about it, but it is one thing to keep in mind. So for this comparison, I'll definitely tell you iPhone 11 Pro faster than the A20 overall, but I'm actually pretty surprised by how well the A20 was able to keep up. And even though the A20 is a little bit slower, I'm not gonna lie, it still kind of kept up, and it wasn't like it blew the iPhone 11 Pro out of the water, or was way slower than the iPhone 11 Pro. So that's pretty much this comparison. Let's get back to the rest of it. Wow, guys, wasn't that the craziest comparison you've ever seen? Now let's go ahead and hit on the camera super quickly. The iPhone 11 Pro has 3 12-megapixel sensors, a wide-angle lens, a telephoto lens, and an ultra-wide sensor. The Samsung Galaxy A20 has a 13-megapixel wide-angle lens and a 5-megapixel ultra-wide sensor, a very interesting choice for an ultra-wide sensor lens. And between both of these, the 11 Pro wins not only probably in every single category, but also in video resolution, frame rate, speed recordings. That's a very smart way of me saying it. You can shoot 4K at up to 60 frames on the iPhone 11 Pro, but you can only do 1080p on the A20. It might be a big deal to some people, some other people might not care, but the overall camera quality and camera features are better on the iPhone 11 Pro than the Samsung Galaxy A20, which is expected. The A20, it's not a brand new phone, and on top of that, it's not a flagship phone, so you kind of have to give it the benefit of the doubt a little bit. On the front, 12-megapixel sensor on the iPhone 11 Pro and an 8-megapixel sensor on the Samsung Galaxy A20. I will say, like I said, quality, everything, pretty much the 11 Pro wins, but the Samsung Galaxy A20 does have some cool little features with it too in the camera sensor. So I'll give that, a little bit of an update right there and a little bit of a hype up, but overall the 11 Pro definitely wins in terms of the camera quality. Now hitting on the battery life, this was actually pretty interesting. The Samsung Galaxy A20 has a 4,000 mAh battery inside of it. The iPhone 11 Pro has a 3,046 mAh battery, and between these two, I do think they're really, really great battery and battery lives in both of these phones. I've yet to kill my 11 Pro in a single day, even without the battery case, but the Samsung Galaxy A20, in my opinion, does have better battery life overall, but standby time is pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. I charged it full 100%, and then standby, it doesn't even last 3-4 days. but when I was using it, it didn't really go down too much. And because this phone isn't super powerful, it doesn't have that big of a screen, and the battery is larger, that makes me kind of suggest that the iPhone 11 Pro might not last as long as the Samsung Galaxy A20 based on my usage, but standby time is better on the iPhone 11 Pro for sure. So overall, that's pretty much it. As you guys can see, definitely some cool advantages for the Samsung Galaxy A20 at its price tag. It's a $200 phone. I mean, what more could you expect? And honestly, I think Samsung did a really good job at this phone specifically. The iPhone 11 Pro though would be my first choice over both these phones. I don't think you would have to spend the 11 Pro money to gain half its features. The XS and XS Max are still tremendous phones, so you can always get those in the used market for like $500, $600. But that is pretty much it. If you want to pick up a Samsung Galaxy A20, I'll find the cheapest one on Amazon and link it straight down in the description below so you guys can help support the channel at the same time. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section as well. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it would mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.